Hello and welcome to the return of the Dot Connector, the first one of 2025, this year that's going to be utterly crazy. And I think if people think, well, it's been crazy up to this point, well, it has, but crazy gets crazier in 2025. And excuse my nasal nature today. I've got the lurgy, but getting over it now. And one of the things that I've been emphasizing all through these so many years is for people to speak their truth, to say what they believe to be true, to say what they believe to be right. And of course, when you say that, especially if you're ahead of the curve, you're going to get pushback. You're going to get called mad or dangerous or bitter or whatever, negative. But if what you say has validity, it will eventually be shown to be so. If it doesn't, well, it doesn't. But if you don't speak your truth, and then what you would have said happens, and you say, oh, I knew that, I knew this was coming. Oh, yeah, of course you did, mate. So you speak your truth, and you take the consequences of it, not that that should matter. They'll think something else tomorrow. And then you see what happens. And there are some things like Donald Trump and Elon Musk where I've said things and got massive, massive pushback, criticism, demonization that wasn't a guess, wasn't a punt. It was a gimme. After 35 years of this, I'm in my 36 now, nearly. There are some things that are so clear that you know they're going to happen. And what we have been seeing in recent days is what Elon Musk, for one, really is. He's a con man. He's conning you. He is a multi-billionaire, hundreds of billions, brackets officially, and he has been imposing his will in an ever more expanded way. And Mr. Free Speech Absolutist, I'm a free speech absolutist, I am. What does that mean? It means I'll censor anyone I don't agree with, which is what's been happening. And I'll come to that later in the Dot Connector. And then there's Donald Trump. So many people that supported Donald Trump now, not all of them, a lot of them are doubling down in the hope that he'll do what he said he would do. But a lot of people are looking at his picks for his government and his statements on various things, some of which I'm going to come into now. And they're going, what happened to the Trump that I voted for? And this is what we're seeing. I've been trying to get this across now for so long. There's a changing of the guard, a changing of the cult-controlled guard, whereby the obvious, blatant politicians that are serving the cult agenda, serving the woke and the climate change and all the rest of it, mass immigration, they are starting to be replaced. Now, what's happening, and there's no better example of this than Alex Jones, is that the alternative media central core is reading this, massively wrongly, I would suggest, as we're winning. It's Elon. He's transformed the world. Trump's the savior. But actually, all it is a different route to the same end. Because take the American situation, if Kamala Harris had got in and pushed the agenda, then the pushbackers, who call themselves the right, the MAGA, would have been pushing back on her all the time. See, told you, this is what we told you she'd do. So what you do to pull the pushbackers in is you sell it to them in a different way. So you have Trump come along and just tell them what they want to hear. It's not what he's going to do. He'll do kind of some of it because he can't not do any of it. It'd be too obvious, but he's not going to do most of it. And you have Musk come in. Musk, who positioned himself long time ago as the skeptic about AI, it could be dangerous, could be the end of humanity, and has since just rolled out more and more AI. Crazy. And now we have Musk's mate, David Sachs, appointed to be the driver of AI policy and Bitcoin policy in the Trump administration. We have Musk's mate, Peter Thiel, who provides through Palantir technology for the intelligence community and the Pentagon, etc., and overseas intelligence networks as well. And we have Peter Thiel's mate, lots of mateys here, J.D. Vance as the vice president, officially. And we have Musk, along with this guy, Vivek Ramaswamy, or Vivek Ramaswamy, as I call him, who are being given the job of deregulation and of making government more efficient. So what does this mean? It means, in terms of deregulation, deregulating all those things that would slow down, at the very least, the playing out of AI control and the fusion of AI with humans. Efficiency, it means basically handing over power over government to $100 billionaire or 100 billionaires like Musk. And so what we're going to see is this, because we're closing in on this inauguration of Trump now. We're going to see some things done which the MAGA will like. And they're going to go, see, told you, he's doing it. And it will be a mild version of what he said, but that will be the diversion. Oh, look, we're winning. And over here, you're going to have the AI control agenda and the digital agenda rolled out at a very fast speed, aiming towards this key year for them of having so much in place of 2030. And like I say, already, even before they've officially come to office, many people in the MAGA arena have gone, hold on a minute, we never voted for this. Others, of course, are quite happy for Trump and Musk to do exactly the same as the Democrats did, because it's our side doing it now, so it's okay. So, that's terrible, that Soros, he's manipulating with his billions. Okay. Oh, that Bill Gates, oh, have you seen him? He's doing all this stuff and he did billions. And oh, look what Elon's doing with his billions. Naivety. The human disease. Soros, Gates, Schwab, Musk, Trump, Ramaswamy, Vance, Thiel, Mark Andreessen, David Sachs, all on the same team, using different rhetoric to make you think they're not. The outcome? The same. So here's one of the strange things that suddenly appeared in this week, although it's been kind of indicated before, but it's come more to prominence this week. Trump says he wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico and doesn't rule out using military on Panama Canal and Greenland. So he wants Canada to become a state of the United States. He wants to take back the Panama Canal by force if necessary, and he wants to take control of Greenland by force if necessary. And he wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico. I'll do this as soon as I can when I come to office. Oh, really? Do you think that maybe all the homeless people in the streets might just be a bigger priority, Mr. Trump, than renaming the Gulf of Mexico? Oh, no, because the Gulf of Mexico renaming, that kind of appeals to my MAGAs. And I'm scamming them, so I want them on board. People sleeping in the streets, well, no, not interested. Donald Trump did not rule out using military force to take control of the Panama Canal and Greenland, and announced a bold plan to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Changes everything. The president-elect, 78, announced his threat of coercion on the global stage and the name swap during a wild and wide-ranging press conference at Mar-a-Lago. Just 13 days before the inauguration, he said the United States was entering the golden age, which is occult symbolism, by the way, and will take off like a rocket ship. One of Musk's, I take it. When he gets the keys back to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, he said as well that the United States needs Greenland for national security. You need it for the resources and the fact it's part of the cult plan, which I'll come to as we go along. And questioned whether Denmark had any legal right or interest in the territory. He said that if Denmark tried to hold on to Greenland, they would face heavy economic tariffs. There you go, man that believes in freedom. Freedom of thought and freedom of action without tyrants imposing their will upon you. And he said that if Denmark, tried to hold on to Greenland, heavy economic tariffs. He also argued that the people of Greenland would vote to become part of the United States. Now, what is this really all a bloody bout? Well, I remember, because I'm old and I've been doing this a long time, back in the 1990s, when it was very much part of the alternative media analysis, that the plan was for a North American Union, a fusion of Canada with the United States and Mexico, basically mirroring the European Union, because the more you centralize power, the more power the few have over the many. And the line was in the 1990s that this NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement, was the stalking horse for eventually this political economic fusion of those countries. Now, here's another map which came out of the Club of Rome. The Club of Rome was created in 1968 to use concerns about the climate and the environment to justify centralization of power. And of course, they've done it ever since. And human-caused global warming is all part of that package, that approach. And they came out with a map of how they wanted to break the world up into regional groups, which of course would be controlled centrally by a world government. And what did they say? They wanted a fusion of the United States, Canada, and, Greenland. And that is the reason all this is going on. Trump may say, I'm anti-globalist. He's absolutely globalist. He's having you on. He's tricked you again if you bought the line. And here's Trump this week talking about wanting to take over Canada. And he was asked if that would involve military force.
Sir Lopez, you said you were considering military force to acquire Panama and Greenland. Are you also considering military force to annex and acquire Canada?
No, economic force. Because Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like, and it would also be much better for national security. Don't forget, we basically protect Canada. But here's the problem with Canada. So many friends up there. I love the Canadian people. They're great. But we're spending hundreds of billions a year to protect it. We're spending hundreds of billions a year to take care of Canada. We lose in trade deficits. We're losing massive. We don't need their cars. You know, they make 20% of our cars. We don't need that. I'd rather make them in Detroit. We don't need the cars. We don't need their lumber. We have massive fields of lumber. We don't need their lumber. We have to unrestrict them because stupid people put, restrictions on, but I can do that with an executive order. We don't need anything they have. We don't need their dairy products. We have more than they have. We don't need anything. So why are we losing $200 billion a year and more to protect Canada? And I said that to, as I called him, Governor Trudeau. I said, listen, what would happen if we didn't subsidize you, if we didn't, because we give them a lot of money. We help them. As an example, we're buying icebreakers, and Canada wants to join us in the buying of icebreakers. I said, we don't really want to have a partner in the buying of icebreakers. We don't need a partner. But
the U.S. the right to lay claim to us?
No right. Nope. No right. Here's what we have. We have a right not to help them.
So there's Trump now wanting to absorb Canada, wanting to absorb Greenland, right in line with the the Club of Rome and the North American Union. And you know, I remember when people like Alex Jones railed against the North American Union. They said, oh, this is the globalists. And now they're saying things like, Canadians should have a vote on whether they are going to join America, become another state. Why is Alex Jones suddenly transformed from an anti-globalist to promoting their agenda? Oh, well, it's what Trump wants, you see. We're not the alternative media anymore. We're propagandists for the Trump regime. Oh, and Elon Musk wants it and all that, so we better want it as well. And he posted something, Alex Jones, this week, which said, today is the day that the globalist, Anglo-American, neoliberal New World Order died. It didn't, Alex. Justin Trudeau's resignation is the first domino to fall in a series of massive globalist failures worldwide. Thanks to Elon Musk and X. No, mate. The way they're selling the same agenda has changed so that they can pull in those that previously opposed it, like you. So this is Alex Jones, in my view, just my opinion, talking total crap.
All the king's horses and all the king's men are not going to put their New World Order back together again. It is dead. I said about 2 years ago on air, we've turned the tide against the globalists, and they will be defeated. The question is how fast. And I said it'll be much less violent, and a lot less people will die, and it'll be hard to turn around, but it'll be much better than where we're going if they're in charge, and we're not offering some utopia, but a system based on honesty and truth and pro-human and prosperity and security. And I said, if we're really aggressive and truthful and go after the New World Order and aren't afraid of them, because you better be afraid of letting them be in charge, it's a death cult, then we can mitigate this. And the best way is to just destroy them now by annihilating them with the truth and assassinating them with the information, not physically. And I said, I want you to murder them. I want you to kill them with truth. I want you to murder their identities because it is who they are. I want you to viciously, with a double-edged dagger of truth, plunge it into their heart, their carotid arteries, their liver. I want you to slit their throat. I want you to gouge their eyeballs out, non-violently, with the truth. That's the analogy. No violence, no physical. Informational is 90+% of warfare. We have the truth. We have history on our side. We have God on our side.
With God on our side. How many tyrants throughout history and those that supported them have claimed the right to do their tyranny because God is on our side? It's a funny God, isn't it? Who's on the side of taking other people's land and imposing your will upon them and ignoring their needs because they don't suit you, like Trump, Musk, and what have you. But God's on their side, and we're winning. Now, if you think you're winning, you let your guard down. Oh, we're winning now. Elon's gonna win for us, and Trump, and that's it now. Phew. Whereas had Harris won, people wouldn't be letting their guard down. They'd be going, what they're going to do now. This is why it's been done. One reason why it's been done. So anyway, Trudeau's resignation and the rest of it is supposed to be proof that the globalists are collapsing. But what they're doing, can't say it enough, is changing the guard to trick you. So this is the guy that Musk is now praising with a view to becoming the next Prime Minister of Canada and promoting him to replace Trudeau. He's a guy called Pierre Poilievre. And you'll be staggered to know, but I'll let you into a secret. Not that it's really a secret if you listen to his speeches. He's a massive supporter of Israel, which is what the alternative media main core is, what Trump is, what Musk is, and all the gang. And it's Israel right or wrong, according to Poilievre. And just like Trudeau, by the way, because he's different. And this guy says that if Israel struck militarily against Iran and its nuclear locations, that, he said, would be a, quote, gift to humanity.
Yesterday you said that you endorse Israel proactively defending itself by hitting Iran's nuclear sites, which is something that President Joe Biden does not endorse. Do you not feel like this could lead to a likelihood of an all-out conventional war between Iran and Israel? And do you not agree with Joe Biden and his assessment?
I think the idea of allowing a genocidal, theocratic, unstable dictatorship that is desperate to avoid being overthrown by its own people to develop nuclear weapons is about the most dangerous and irresponsible thing that the world could ever allow. And if Israel were to stop that genocidal, theocratic, unstable government from acquiring nuclear weapons, it would be a gift by the Jewish state to humanity.
So actually, the globalists and the New World Order are not being dismantled. They're just taking a different route to the same end. And Alex Jones this is quite encouraging, actually. Alex Jones's slavish eulogization and worship of Musk and Trump is starting to lose him a lot of support because people are looking at it and saying, what happened to the old Alex Jones that used to push back on all this and now you're supporting it? And Alex posted a video this week saying Elon has done more in the fight against the neoliberal global tyranny. It's not neoliberal, it's a tyranny, and it crosses all parties, including those you support, Alex. He's done more in the fight against the neoliberal global tyranny than anyone except Donald Trump in the last 100 years. Elon Musk is a game changer, he said. No mention of the fact, and I'll come to later on in the dot connector, that Musk has been targeting and censoring people who supported Jones and wanted and campaigned to get him back onto X, but have been targeted by Musk in the last week or so because they disagree with him on something, which I'll come to as we go along. So it's become embarrassing as someone who, well, the alternative media didn't exist when I started out. I watched it appear and I watched it grow and I was delighted about it. But now I watch so many of the people who claim to be alternative producing embarrassing, backside-kissing videos like this one.
What the hell? And he's exposing Jeffrey Epstein and the CIA. Hell, last week he put out tweets about the CIA at war with America. God almighty. Jones sold out retweeting that. God, I apologize to all of you. I'm sorry. I sold out. I tried to stop the pedophile rings, the giant Muslim kidnapping rings. I'm sorry. I kissed Elon Musk's ass. We're so close to getting the globalists. I want their throat. I want victory. And now you can see it. And you guys think you're going to harass Elon Musk and push him off of supporting Trump and divide Trump and Elon? You're not. We have already beaten your ass. Oh, let's continue.
The turnaround has been shocking and so blatant that so many people are seeing it. And this is the same Alex Jones who interviewed a guy called Aaron Russo a long, long time ago, who was a film producer, and he was revealing what he was told by a member of the Rockefeller family about what the plan was. And part of that plan was the creation of the North American Union that is being pushed by Trump and Musk and propagandized by Alex Jones. This is the change that's taken place. This is what Russo said many, many years ago.
And the goals of the banking industry, not just the Federal Reserve System, but the private banks in Germany and England, all over Italy, all over the world, they all work together. They're all central banks, and they're all part of the Communist Manifesto. You know, central banking is one of the major planks of the Communist Manifesto. We talk about America being a capitalistic country, but yet at the same time we have a central bank that plans everything for us, right? And the graduated income tax is another plank of the Communist Manifesto, right? So right there, you have two major planks of the Communist Manifesto that have been brought in because of the Federal Reserve System, okay? So the ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one-world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers, and they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America with the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one-world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip, and you have nothing.
Those were the days when the mainstream of the alternative media was truly alternative, unlike what it's become. And you have to go further out now before you hit the people who are really credible and really care about exposing this cabal of evil that's pushing humanity in the direction of total human AI control. Now, one thing I just want to quickly mention is, okay, absorbing Greenland is part of this whole plan, but there are bonuses too. I found this story this week. Natural resources of Greenland. Oh, no. You don't say. Where natural resources are located in Greenland. Greenland, the world's largest island, is known for its vast and diverse natural resources, from mineral deposits to oil and gas reserves, renewable energy potential, fisheries, agriculture, aquaculture, and forestry. Greenland is rich in natural resources that have the potential to drive economic growth and development for Trump's America. Greenland is rich in natural resources, including minerals, oil and gas reserves, renewable energy potential, etc., etc. Mineral resources in Greenland include rare earth elements, uranium, iron ore, and gemstones, making it an attractive destination for mining companies. I'm sure Trump's buying shares as we speak. Greenland has a significant potential for oil and gas reserves, with exploration and extraction activities being carried out in the region. And I saw an absolutely grotesque sight this week in relation to this, to underpin the theme of taking over Greenland. This was the site of Donald Trump Jr., a mate of Russell Brand, apparently, arriving in Greenland in a big Trump plane with people like Trump fanatic Charlie Kirk, who is, again, promoting this whole scam, as I would call it. And the promotion, that's the point of the trip, of the takeover of Greenland. And yes, this is incredibly creative and ingenious. I don't know how they came up with this. To make Greenland great again. And this is Charlie Kirk of the Turning Point USA, the big organizations pushing for Trump to be elected. And he's with Donald Trump Jr. here. And it's kind of confirmation that you don't need high intelligence to influence world events.
Okay, we are here in Greenland with Don Jr.
Everyone wants to be on TikTok.
What do you guys think of America?
Great.
Love America, and you love Trump?
Yes, of course.
The youth of Greenland, Don.
We're hearing a lot of it, guys. We're hearing a lot of it.
And you guys all watch TikTok, right?
Of course. I'll follow you.
Oh, thank you. Live from Greenland.
The arrogance of these people is absolutely extraordinary. That they think that they can just look at a piece of land where people have lived through all the generations and say, we're going to take over that. We're going to have that. Because you're pushing an agenda of a global nature, which you claim to be opposing, and because of the resources that are there to exploit. I've been saying all this time that Trump and Musk have been playing you, those that bought it, and they have. So I'm going to look at other elements of what's been going on, including Musk's censorship on X, etc., and the people involved. And for the rest of the dot connector, go to Ickonic.com. That's after 7 o'clock today, not Friday as before, but today, Thursday, and you can see the rest of the dot connector. So now for subscribers to Ickonic.com, we'll get into other events of the week, although they are connected, of course, because Elon Musk is bloody everywhere. So a lot of it has surrounded something called it's a visa called H-1B. And it's a visa that allows people to come into the United States overwhelmingly from India, other countries as well, but overwhelmingly India, to, in the area of relevance here, to work for the Silicon Valley giants. And what's been happening is American workers in that arena have been fired so that these, what do they call it? H-1B rather, visas can be brought in to replace them. And not only that, I mean, talk about taking the piss. Often the American workers who are about to lose their jobs are told to train the incomers who are going to be paid less before they leave and try to find a job somewhere else. And so you also have an element to this where the incoming migrant visas or holders of the visas, they're basically beholding to the company that brings them in and dependent upon it. I mean, apparently there is a way that you can move to another company, but it's very, very much more difficult than doing it if you're an American citizen. And so, in short, these visas absolutely sort or suit the AI Silicon Valley oligarchs, like Musk. Oh, really? And Trump, who uses them as well. And all these other billionaires, because they haven't got enough money, you see. They've got enough money. Hundreds of billions is not enough. Ooh, my goodness me, no. We can shave a bit off here by getting these people in from India. Now, of course, what that's done has made a lot of MAGA Trump supporters kick off in relation to Musk, because they're saying, well, hold on a minute. You all campaigned on reducing immigration into America, taking American jobs. You told us you were going to, get loads and loads of migrants out, illegal ones out of America. And now you're telling us that this visa program is great and it's what you want to do, because what Musk and Trump and all these people are saying, quote, no, it's not about cheap labor. No, it's about bringing in the brightest and the best and the brightest. And it's not about taking American jobs at all, even though that's what it does. And so we have Trump, who is the violin in Musk's orchestra. And when Musk came out and started pushing for these visas and stopping any idea that they would be reduced or deleted, of course, Trump has to agree with his master's voice. And this is how Trump's stance on these visas has changed over the years. A bit like everything else he's ever said.
Nobody knows the system better than me. I know the H-1B. I know the H-2B. Nobody knows it better than me. I know the H-1B very well, and it's something that I frankly use, and I shouldn't be allowed to use. We shouldn't have it. Very, very bad for workers. As we speak, we're finalizing H-1B regulations so that no American worker is replaced ever again. H-1Bs should be used for top, highly paid talent to create American jobs, not as inexpensive labor program to destroy American jobs.
Why did you change your mind on H-1B visas, sir?
I didn't change my mind. I've always felt we have to have the most competent people in our country. We need competent people. We need smart people coming into our country. And we need a lot of people coming in. We're going to have jobs like we've never had before.
But sir, you said you changed your...
He lied, in other words. And he's changed his mind, not out of judgment, not out of seeing something differently, but because it suits him at the moment to now be in favor of something he was once against. That's Trump in a sentence. And so we now have a situation where a division has appeared in the MAGA between those who are just doubling down. Oh, Elon, we love you. Whatever you do, it don't matter. And those who are going, hold on, what's going on? What's happening here? You're doing the opposite of what you said you would do. Oh, really? I'm staggered. My flabber's never been so gasted. And what was Musk's reaction to this? You know, the free speech absolutist. It was to target those people on X, taking away their blue check mark, which gives them certain advantages, to demonetize them, to shadow ban them, and all these things. And he posted things about these MAGAs who were committing the crime, and it is a crime, of not agreeing with the God. That is Elon. So he told them in a tweet to take a big step back and F yourself in the face, which is kind of difficult, but we are dealing with a drug addict, so, you know, you've got to give him a bit of slack. And Musk said he would go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. Brackets, my dad's bigger than your dad. God, the power this child is being given is extraordinary. So Musk targeted all those pushing back on the H-1B visas with blatant censorship and demonetization and removing advantages and blah, 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 as I said. And then having called on people to go F themselves and called people disagreeing with him subtards, he then demanded more positivity and less negativity on X. Oh. Beam me up, mother. It's mad down here. And as a result of demanding this end to negativity, he said the algorithm was being changed to stop too much negativity, which is code for criticism of him. And this is what it would mean. It would mean that those for whom he has targeted or who he is targeted will not be able to comment on his posts. And people will be deboosted, shadow banned, if enough of these blue check, often big accounts, block them. So you say something one of these big accounts doesn't like, and they block you. And then loads of people have blocked me. I mean, loads of them. The Tates, Gert Wilders in the Netherlands, in the United States, Mark Andreessen, the AI billionaire. There's loads of them that have done it. So I'm probably going to be deboosted because I'm blocked by so many people. But Why am I blocked? Because I'm saying something they don't want me to say. Now, censorship, I do think it is. Anyway, and Alex Jones, of course, sits there silent while all this is going on. And what Musk has been doing is targeting the UK government for his own reasons. And he's been targeting them, and Keir Starmer and all that stuff, for whom I have no brief whatsoever. I pointed out before he came to power that this Labour government led by Starmer would be one of the most despised in British political history, and it didn't take long. But the question is not what is he doing, but why is he doing it? And it's interesting, you know, he supported Trump, I think it was in July. It was immediately after the, quote, assassination attempt on Trump and Butler. And he supported Trump for an election in November. He then starts supporting the Alternative for Germany party in Germany for an election in February. And in between the two, he announced that he was going to financially support, or was likely to, the Reform Party in the UK, led by a guy called Nigel Farage, for an election that doesn't have to take place officially for years. And I looked at that and I thought, yeah, okay, you're supporting Trump for an election and you're supporting this party in Germany for an election there. Why would you start supporting the Reform Party for an election that was way, way into the future? And then suddenly he starts targeting the UK government, and he's using the legitimate vehicle of pointing out the lack of action with these grooming gangs in overwhelmingly English cities who have been doing horrific child trafficking and rape with young girls in those areas. Now, some really great people have been pushing this and exposing this for a long time. And now Musk has picked up on this and gone for it with a vengeance, I think it's fair to say. And that has included Elon Musk's story. Elon Musk calls on King Charles to order a new general election as pressure mounts on Keir Starmer over grooming gangs inquiry. Elon Musk opened a new front in his war with Labour overnight as he backed a madcap, this story says, call for King Charles to dissolve Parliament and order a new general election. The billionaire ex-owner and Donald Trump advisor, handler, shared a post demanding the monarch step in as he clashed with the government over grooming gangs. He has jumped in on a row over the government's refusal to back a probe into gangs of British Asian men targeting teenage girls in Oldham, Greater Manchester. And he's moved in on other areas of parties, like he's pushing the Conservative Party in Canada and the German Party and blah, blah, blah. And what it's about is a cult agenda, just selling it in a different way. And it's funny, not in an hilarious way, that he's suddenly got an interest in the plight of children, but ignores other children going through grotesque experiences, not least in Israel. And here's George Galloway, he's a former MP in Britain, who is making this point in this video.
I didn't see one word from Elon Musk about child abuse and even kidnappings amongst the Orthodox Jewish community in New York, pictures of which I saw. I didn't hear him say one word about the Jewish community in Guatemala, where girls were rescued from. Not one word. He hasn't said one word about the child abuse in the ranks of the clergy in the Roman Catholic Church. Not one word about it. This is about race for him. It's about religion for him and his determination to use anti-Muslim feeling to unleash a wave that will take him or take Robinson or take somebody to a certain place, to a place of greater power and influence. Well, I'm not going to be silent in the face of that. Here I stand. I can do no other.
What it's about is advancing Musk's personal and political agenda. It is not about the horrific treatment of children by these gangs in Britain. And Musk, as I say, is expanding his political interference into more and more countries. And like I say, he's said that he would fund, or indicated he would fund the Reform Party in the UK. Now, the Reform Party is headed by a guy called Nigel Farage, who was one of the biggest, in fact, the biggest promoter of Brexit, leaving the European Union. Unfortunately, Nigel Farage was in for a shock, because although he's been to America and interacted with Musk at Mar-a-Lago, Trump, he's a mate of Trump, Farage. Suddenly this week, Musk turned on him. But before I come to that, this is beforehand, before the turning on. This is Nigel Farage praising Musk, and would you believe it, saying that Musk would make reform cool.
And is his friend, Elon Musk, now your friend, and is he going to give you millions of pounds?
Well, that's a real question, isn't it? Now, forget about $100 million being talked about in the newspapers.
Is he going to give you money?
That is for the birds.
Is he going to give you money?
He may well do. He may well do. But it's got to be legal. He's got to be comfortable with it. He may well give us money. Whether he does or not, I'll tell you what he gives us. With huge numbers of young people, he makes us look cool.
Is the reason you hope he's going to give you money, is that why you don't want to criticise him?
I think I've made it perfectly clear that I don't agree with everything he stands for. But I do believe in free speech. I think he's a hero. And I said that well before any potential money was offered.
All was going very well at this point. But you do not disagree with God. And Nigel Farage found that out. The topic over which this happened was over Tommy Robinson. Now, Tommy Robinson, who's been very vocal about immigration and Muslim gangs and so on, he was jailed, he's in jail now, for contempt of court over a libel case against him. And what Musk has been saying is that he's in jail because he was exposing the grooming gangs in these English towns and cities. And what Farage pointed out, and again, I have no brief for Farage at all. any politics or politicians worth the name. But he was simply pointing out that, hold on a minute, no, Tommy Robinson is not in jail for exposing the grooming gangs. He's in jail for contempt of court over this libel action. And you don't do that. You don't disagree with God. So Musk then posted this tweet that said that Farage had to be replaced because he wasn't the man for the job of running reform. And Musk then started posting praise for another reform MP called Rupert Lowe. So here's a question. Who the bloody hell is this guy, Musk? He's worth hundreds of billions on paper. He is given massive contracts through SpaceX and other companies by the Pentagon and NASA and the intelligence community in America. He says that 80% of his time is spent designing and engineering, when 100% of his time would appear to be spent tweeting on X and playing video games. It's a fraud. The whole thing's a fraud. It's a joke. It's all a game. He's a front man. That's all he is. He's a genius. No, he's not. Don't be silly. And what we see is all that money he spent on Trump's campaign has made Trump president of the United States soon, to be beholding to him. He wants to pour money into reform, which would make them beholding to him. He's supporting the Alternative for Germany party, which would make them beholding to him. And he's pushing for this conservative leader in Canada to be the replacement for Trudeau and would make him beholding to him. Anyone seen a pattern here? Who is this bloke? He's a god, he is. He's free speech. Oh, shut up. So Musk could not care less about the thousands of children killed in Gaza, for instance. Killed by his mate Netanyahu. And Musk, like Trump, is owned by Israel. The man's a total fraud. And here's a Trump and Musk who will give Israel everything they want after they come to power shortly. But here's not Musk and Trump, but there's Trump talking about how he will deal with the Israel situation as soon as he gets in the White House.
If the deal isn't done before I take office, which is now going to be 2 weeks, all hell will break out in the Middle East.
Israel first, middle, last. That's what we're going to be seeing. And what it's really about is manipulating the previous pushbackers on AI control and AI human fusion to turn them into, if not supporters of it, though many have become that, then at least they'll look the other way while you're doing it. And this is what this is really about. It's making Trump a hero. Oh, Trump, yes, yes. But it's making Musk a hero of these pushbackers, at least pushbackers to an extent, so that they give him a free ride on his AI agenda. And I saw this clip this week, although I'd seen it before, but it reminded me of a Dutch activist called Eva Vlandingerbroek. Now, she's become a Musk worshipper and apologist. But in 2022, the year that he bought Twitter, or at least was allowed to buy Twitter, along with many other people like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and P. Diddy. In 2022, she said this about Elon Musk. Basically, he's not our friend, he's a transhumanist. And what you'll see here is true. It's just that she doesn't say it anymore.
Well, what if they can promise us not just protection of death, but the eradication of death itself? Well, that's where transhumanism comes in. Transhumanism promotes the view that the human species should take control over its own evolution through technology. Technologies such as brain implants, genetic engineering, and nanotechnology, eventually allowing for us humans to become immortal in the cloud, promising us paradise on Earth. The most rich and powerful people on the planet are currently working on tools that will alter human nature forever. I know that all of you know Elon Musk, and I know that you all know him from Tesla, right? The self-driving cars. But have you ever heard of the concept or of the name Neuralink? Well, let me tell you, Neuralink is one of Elon Musk's other projects, and it's a chip that can be implanted into the brain, convert your brain activity, so mind you, those are your thoughts, into a digital form and have them seriously uploaded to that cloud.
All of that is correct, said in 2022. And now, oh, Elon, thank you, Elon. All forgotten. And that's been a major reason for allowing Musk to control Twitter, to manipulate and trick people to giving his AI agenda a free ride. And that's what we're going to see in the Trump administration. This increasingly breakneck speed move towards AI control, digital control of the entire system. Not least, they're pushing Bitcoin massively for a reason, and to ensure that the AI human fusion agenda becomes real. And to give you an idea of what this means and how it will play out, and then some, we just need to look at China. Like I've said all these years, if you want to see the West tomorrow, look at China today. And here's a guy describing what life is like in China now. In fact, it's 1 or 2 years ago. And this is the world, and then some, that these AI oligarchs led by Musk want to happen in America and the Western world.
It's a social credit score system. If you go to China, they're piloting it a few years ago in Shenzhen. So I lived overseas. If you go to Shenzhen, back in 2017, they already had facial recognition cameras there. So if you jaywalked in Shenzhen, they would immediately detect that and send you a notification, and they would deduct money from your what they call WeChat account. They use two main apps, WeChat and Alipay. So you can actually deduct your money directly from your account. This is 4 years ago. So this is not like some sort of conspiracy theory. It's not something that's going to happen 10 years into the future. This happened pre-corona in China. And so this system in China that exists, it's extremely advanced. They can detect if it's a man or a woman. They can guess your age. They can detect what kind of car model it is, who the manufacturer is. This is a sort of technology that we see in all these dystopian sort of films and whatever. And people keep putting it off and thinking that this is something that's going to happen later in my kid's lifetime or my grandkids. It's already here. And if this gets implemented anywhere, especially in a Western nation, it's not going away. And they're going to ask if you're gay. They're going to be asking if you ate 3 pizzas this week because it's unhealthy. If you buy certain books in certain countries, your country doesn't like you will lose points in the social credit score system. So this is already the reality of the world in certain places, and we need to be aware of that if we don't want that or if we do.
It'd be nice to live in a place like that, wouldn't it? It'd be absolutely wonderful. Now, change of tack, change of story. Although, like all of it, it's all connected. Is this the start of a new pandemic? As HMPV cases rise, everything you need to know about the mystery illness. The scenes are eerily familiar, the story says. Crowded hospitals in China overrun by masked patients seeking medical help as infection tears through the population. Why don't they just roll back the tape and play the same stories? But this time, it's not COVID-19. Oh, really? What is it then? Doing the damage. Instead, doctors are struggling to cope with high rates of sickness caused by a different organism known as human metapneumovirus, or HMPV. The virus causes cold and flu-like symptoms. Have I heard that before? Ethel? Flu-like symptoms. Where have you heard that before? Well, I thought it was COVID. Yes, exactly right, mate. Anyway, it's flu-like symptoms, but it can be dangerous to certain groups, particularly children and the elderly. I guess that includes me now. And worryingly, other countries are also reporting a spike in cases which have doubled in the UK in just a month. So watch for that one. We've got bird flu kicking around in the background as well. And here's a story. Pinch me. Ouch. It's true. COVID jab scientists develop bubonic plague vaccine amid fears of next pandemic. Bloody bubonic plague now. Scientists behind the Oxford COVID jab. That wouldn't be the Oxford COVID jab that ceased to be used because it was killing people and harming their health, would it? Oh, it would. Oh, but no. We're now going to trust them with a bubonic plague vaccine. Will you have any mRNA in it and graphene oxide? Oh, yeah. Well, I thought it might. Scientists behind the Oxford COVID jab are developing a bubonic plague vaccine, and amid fears, a superbug strain of the Black Death could emerge. Not only the Black Death that killed all those people, but a superbug strain of it. There is no vaccine in the UK for the plague, which has killed around 200 million people worldwide throughout history. But the team behind the Oxford AstraZeneca coronavirus jab has now reported progress in its work on an inoculation. Phew, ooh, dear, sits back in deep regret that it didn't happen earlier, in case we had a bubonic plague before. But now it's okay. Pew. Scientists have called for the UK to add a Black Death jab to its stockpile as the risk of a superbug strain rises. So all these bloody vaccines they're giving people, We'll have a bubonic plague one now, shall we? Any sign of the bubonic plague? Oh, no, not yet, but you never know. And now the Oxford team says a trial of its vaccine on 40 healthy adults, not for long, I bet, which started in 2021, has yielded results which show it is safe and able to produce an immune response in people. Hey, Ethel, have you heard that before? COVID, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the one. Unbelievable. And now, the real world, which is that we have lost loved ones, been left disabled, and even diagnosed with cancer after taking the COVID vaccine. But no one will take our heartbreaking experiences seriously. Why? Because they don't want to emphasize what the jab is really doing. Patients whose health has been ravaged after taking the COVID-19 fake vaccines are calling for more support as the government faces paying out tens of millions of pounds in damages. Almost 17,000 claims for disability damages have now been submitted after new information emerged about the potential risks, including blood clots. Experts have said that the benefits of taking... Now, I will continue to read this sentence, but you'll see the longer I go that the first word of it, experts, is not appropriate. Experts have said that the benefits of taking COVID vaccines significantly outweigh the side effects, including death, as they prevent the spread of the disease and reduce serious complications. Ethel, same? Yep, gotcha. But more people are coming forward to report that they've suffered a severe impact, with some linking their vaccines to major problems such as blood cancer and heart disorders. And, you know, what the story does is give some examples of people and their experience. And vaccine injury charity founder Charlotte Crichton has been forced to give up her work as a sports therapist due to debilitating effects she has reported since receiving the jabs. Their ordeals, talking about people collectively, have been shared after a father described being left to rot after having a nightmare reaction to a COVID jab that left him in constant pain. And a grieving widow has told the Mail Online how she had to battle for a year to get her husband's death certificate updated to record how he was killed by a reaction to receiving a COVID-19 vaccine. Now, I've read many times over the years that about 4% of the population is a psychopath. No, don't agree. If you take the top two traits of psychopaths, it is lack of empathy, being able to put yourself in the position of the person you're affecting or another person in general, and a deletion of compassion. And so when you look at all these jabs that have been done, and then you look at all the consequences for people of these jabs, and then you see the lack of interest in helping them by the system that imposed the jab, don't tell me that psychopaths are represented by only 4% of the population. And then there's this other story this week. 1 million cancer cases missed during COVID lockdowns. Nearly a quarter of all new cancer cases, 1 million globally, and the rest, may have been missed during the COVID pandemic, a World Health Organization study has found. Researchers said lockdown restrictions and pressures on healthcare systems saw diagnoses of the disease drop by 23% globally, suggesting it was not identified in around 1 million people. Now, This is a study by the World Health Organization that told countries all over the world to do exactly what they say cause these consequences. And you know, all the lockdowns and all the masks and the fake vaccines and all that stuff, it was all done to protect your health. What it actually was a devastating, catastrophic war on human health. And how many people who imposed that war have faced any consequences whatsoever? None. And instead, what they're doing, a lot of them, is turning up again on the news shows to sell the next bloody one. The world is freaking mad. Now, I'm just going to finish on this story on climate change and a video of a great man. I think he's a great man anyway, called David Bellamy. I'll come to him in a second. But as I speak, there's been this horrific, these horrific fires in California, which has taken out a lot of homes worth a lot of money, and famous people have been affected, etc. And I'm not going to, go into that now because, you need more days for the background to come out, start to come out. So I might talk about it next week. We'll see. But there are very clear signs, shall we say, talking in a general way, that a lot of these fires are coming from the sky in the terms of energy weapons. And what, of course, they are blamed upon is human-caused global warming that's not actually happening. But this story here is a classic. I'll read you the headline. That'll do enough, really. Why more frequent cold blasts could be coming from global warming. It's cold, isn't it? Ooh, it's bloody cold. That's global warming. Hot, isn't it? Ooh, bloody hot, yeah. That's global warming. Somewhere in between. Ooh, yeah, that's global warming. It's a nonsense. Of course, what it's about is creating an excuse for the transformation of human society to stop something that's not happening. But no. This is true. I kid you not. The Independent newspaper kids you, but I won't kid you not. Frigid air that normally stays trapped in the Arctic has escaped. Oh my God, where did it go? Plunging deep into the United States. Oh, that's where it went. For an extended visit. Oh, I've just dropped in. But I'm very frigid, so don't come near me. An extended visit. This is a mainstream newspaper. That is expected to provoke teeth chattering, but not record shattering. Cold, I suppose. It's a cold air outbreak that some experts say is happening, or experts again, they're back. It's happening more frequently and paradoxically, it is very paradoxically, I agree with that, because of a warming world. It's getting colder because it's getting hotter. Such cold air blasts have become known as a polar vortex. It's a long-established weather term that's become mainstream as its technical meaning changed a bit on the way. I bet it bloody did. Some sanity. There's a kind of a communal garden outside my flat on the Isle of Wight. And what it used to be, a long time ago, before I moved there, was basically a tip where people would throw their rubbish over the fence. They would throw literally their fridges into this garden. And it was a terrible mess. Then some people got together magnificently. They cleaned it all up. And now it's a lovely, lovely garden. And it was opened by a man called David Bellamy, an ecologist and environmentalist, but one with a brain and with balance. And I saw this. He's not with us any longer, unfortunately, but I saw this clip this week. I wanted to share it with you. It's David Bellamy, and he was fired by the BBC and lots of others. So these environmental groups that he was a patron of and all that stuff, they got rid of him as well for the crime of telling the truth about climate change. The nonsense of it in terms of caused by humans. And this is him on a TV program telling the truth. You don't do that. Do you, Elon?
You've been visiting New Zealand for many, many years, and you're known throughout the world for your work. But of late, you've caused controversy and become, I suppose, something of a pariah as a result of your views on climate change.
Which you've called a poppycock.
What is your view? Do you believe man-made climate change is happening?
Absolutely not.
And why do you? What backs up your belief on that?
Because there is no actual proof. There's a whole series of computer models, and you can fiddle computer models to say what you like. If you actually look at the fact that for the last 10 years, man-made global warming, if it was working, has stopped because the temperatures have gone down. And right at this moment, we're heading for 30 years, pretty cold thing. You've just had wonderful ski seasons, so have we, around the world.
So what do you
there
put
is no proof at all scientifically. There are just models.
You actually say that the current warming of the planet that we are experiencing is going to be good for this planet. Why do you say
well,
that?
No. We could grow more food in Siberia. We could
and
grow
more wine.
Well, certainly.
Apparently.
And of course, if you go back 2,000 years ago in Britain, we were growing good Merlot in the borders of Scotland. And that was 3 degrees to 5 degrees warmer than it is now. And then we had the little ice age and everyone, and we fought each other. It is climate change, and there is absolutely nothing. We're talking about 0.7 degrees Celsius rise. I go out this thing, a cloud comes over, and it changes that much. It is a total poppycock.
David Bellamy, great guy who sacrificed his career to tell the truth. And my goodness me, do we need that kind of backbone today, especially in 2025. That's it for this week. And I'll see you on the Dot Connector on Ickonic.com a week from now.